Today we're hitting a Clash Royale strategy video for Arena 5 and below. What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here, and today I wanted to share with you my battle deck, which I believe is one of the best decks for Arena 5 and below. Now, I have took this deck higher, but I definitely struggled with it a bit more once I got past Spell Valley. So going over the deck, and then we'll show you some replays. Starting out, we have the Knight. Now, I mainly use him as a tank for my other troops, but he is great on defense as well, and only costs 3 elixir. Now, for my smaller army troops, I do have the minions as a flying troop and the spear goblins as a ground troop, but obviously the spear goblins can hit air troops as well. Ensuring that we have splash damage in the deck, we have the bomber, and then the prince card I mainly use for flanking down the opposite side if I have a bit of a push going on one side, just to complicate things for my opponent. The goblin barrel is always nice to get some extra damage on the towers, whilst you can always use them to pinpoint any area of the battlefield if you need to. Arrows obviously ensure you can take out them smaller armies, whilst the baby dragon ensures you have a little bit more splash damage within the deck and also brings another flying troop who acts as a tank as well. So if we have a look at my activity log, you will see that we haven't done too badly recently. We've got a quite nice little win streak going. So let's show you these top 2 attacks. I did have a couple of nice attacks after this, which I'll bring to you in another video following this. But let's explain the deck and how I like to use it from these 2 replays. Now, when I start out a battle, I never like my elixir to go to 10, so as soon as I'm about to hit maximum elixir, I normally put my knight out right at the back if I have him. Obviously this one I didn't, so I used the little bomber, and then you can often place a tankier troop up ahead of him once the bomber has made his way forward, and sometimes you can get a couple of free elixir just from doing this. So by having the knight out in front, he's protecting the little bomber who does splash damage on all of them ground troops that my opponent tries to use to defend. Now obviously he did bring a baby dragon in, so I needed some air troops in to take that down. That's why I had the minions and then the baby dragon of my own in order to help with splash damage as well. You'll also notice at the end that if I have a lot of troops right on the tower and I have a decent amount of tankage, I often throw a goblin barrel over there. I did get some extra damage from that, but a nice use of the fireball from my opponent meant that I didn't quite get as much damage from that as you can. Now I know we kind of missed it, but I have made sure to have some cheaper troops within the deck, and you'll see that they were great for defending, and then often you have a lot of troops left over that you can then reinforce with an offensive push yourself. So basically it's getting a nice balance within your deck with troops you can use to defend and then also make a push to take down the enemy towers. So skipping forward a bit, we did manage to get a nice little bit damage on the left hand side tower with our prince, and that is exactly why I have him in the deck. So as a lot of the action was going on the right hand side tower, my opponent was using all of his elixir to try and defend that. I snuck the prince in on the left in order to get a bit cheap damage on that side. Because I will say, maybe it's my playstyle, but I do get a lot of 2 crown victories with this deck. I have got 3 crowns before, but it is few and far between. So having the prince to help get some cheap damage on the opposite side can often lead you to victory. So we have managed to get a little bit more damage on that tower using the baby dragon and the minions, and that's another nice little combo that I have within the deck. Right now we're just trying to sparingly put our troops in order to defend on this left hand side, and then because we have our tower helping out as well, we are going to come out on top for this little confrontation. We have the prince moving forward. I'm going to reinforce that with a goblin barrel in order to take out that left hand side tower. That puts us 2 crowns up, and with only 15 seconds left, it is looking pretty good for this battle. So now we can just have a bit of fun, place some troops all over the map, but I hope that showed you a couple of nice combos to use within the deck. I will show you another replay, and like I say, I did have a couple of battles after this which I recorded, so I'll bring you them in another video shortly to hopefully highlight this deck a little bit more to you, but I have been having a lot of success with it. I have tweaked it here and there, but I think I now do have a good balance within it, and I have tried other decks I've seen on the internet for around about this level, but I feel they don't really compare to this. Maybe it's because I've used this deck more and I've tweaked it myself. It suits my playstyle, so please do take that into account when you're watching this video. But I do like to share my strategies with you, and I will bring you a lot more deck strategies in the future. So moving on to the next battle, unfortunately is another level 6, but it all depends on who you're up against and what cards they have. The next 2 battles I had were level 7, so I will bring you that, but honestly I hope this just highlights the deck to you, so let's get into it. So on this one I did have the knight first, so I put him on the right hand side just so I wasn't wasting elixir, and then I did put the baby dragon and minions on the left to take out them barbarians, with them being ground troops, had the little bomber to do splash damage as well, and then the arrows there that you will see I used, that's probably the main card that I used to defend against, is the minion horde. So you will see that the knight kind of was a waste, but not to worry, we did get a little bit of damage on the left. Moving on to the next confrontation, we're making sure we can defend against this prince, and then I decided not to reinforce the knight because he had such little health. I decided to let the baby dragon come into my side of the battlefield so that we could use our tower in order to help take out them troops. So as we move forward, the minions are going to fade out, but that dragon does have a decent amount of health. The barbarians, not a great card to defend against that, so I throw the goblin barrel over whilst that tower is occupied on the dragon in order to get a nice little bit damage on it. So obviously the cards you're dealt are a big factor. Luck does come into play a bit. My opponent didn't really have anything to defend that baby dragon, but that's why you need such a good balanced deck. You'll see another prime example there of why I have the arrows within the deck. It means I can target and take out them small armies. I didn't want to increase my elixir cost by having, say, the fireball when I already have a couple of troops within the deck that do splash damage. So you'll see getting down into the final minute, and honestly this is often how my battles will look at this point, and I don't think you can rush with this deck. As long as you're taking your time, making sure you're defending appropriately, you do have a good variety of troops to do that, and then picking the points wisely where you make an offensive push. So often that will be after you've defended and you have some leftover troops, therefore you're already up on elixir, you can then push forward and reinforce the army. And you'll see again there, that's exactly why I have the goblin barrel. When I do have some troops in the vicinity of the tower, you can get the goblin barrel over, really target it and get some nice extra damage onto the towers, and in this case take it down and win the battle. Once again at this point, I then like to force my opponent into making a choice at where they want to defend, the right or the left lane, so I'm trying to sneak the prince into the right hand side. Doesn't work out on this one, but I do waste a few seconds for my opponent in making him defend. Sometimes the best defense is in fact an effective offense. So that's going to wrap up this Clash Royale strategy video for what I believe is one of the best decks for Arena 5 and below. Make sure to let me know down in the comments what success you have with this, and or if you would make any adjustments to it. I will bring you more Clash Royale strategy videos, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for that. But that's it for this one. I've been your host Judo Sloth, and until next time, peace out guys. Stay tuned for more Clash of Clans.